Hi folks, Andy back again, and I'm going to take you through my top 5 things to do in game right now that's going to give you that edge of preparedness going into Assassin's Creed DLC content in 2021. Now we both know that Ubisoft is going to be placing some new armor sets, weapons, abilities and settlement upgrades behind some pretty hefty price points, making us grind them out, and you know what, that's okay. It's part of the game, and at times I actually enjoy doing it and working towards something challenging and elusive. Sometimes. But going into the DLC, I want to be able to actually enjoy the replayable content first and foremost and minimise that grind aspect as much as possible by getting my house in order now while I do have the time. If we're on the same page, then awesome. These are my 5 recommendations on what to spend your time on now so the DLC becomes more enjoyable, and I hope they help you out. Let's kick it off with number 5, and that is diamond runes. They are incredibly important when it comes to combat and general Valhalla gameplay. Some of these runes can complement your armour and weapons really well, and most of the time, if you actually socket these bad boys correctly, they're one of the main reasons why you can steamroll mobs on Drenga difficulty. Now we've got the time, this is a great opportunity to socket some decent diamond runes, so when you do go into the DLC, you'll be able to absolutely dominate. And there's a really simple and nice way to do this. If you head to your settlement vendor, you'll notice that you're actually able to purchase runes once your settlement is level 6, so max level. You'll also notice that one of those runes is a diamond rune, which is fantastic. There's a few dance steps here though, but you'll be able to actually refresh this rune list until you actually get the diamond rune or the other runes that you want. Now the trick to this is to make sure that you've actually recently leveled up, so whether that's a mastery level or just a general skill point, this needs to be done, and then you actually need to return to your settlement vendor. Now when you do arrive, what you want to do is you want to save your game, because we're going to rinse and repeat this. Once you've got your save, go and speak to the vendor and check out the runes that are available. If you're not happy with the selection there, or if you're after a particular diamond or other rune slot, then what you want to do is reload the game that you've just saved. What you will find is that when you do actually reload that save game, the rune list has refreshed, so you can continually do this until you pick up the runes you want. So this is a really nice, easy way to enhance your gear going into the DLC. Having those decent runes in your slots really does make a difference. And I've made a list for you, so on your screen right now there should be a few diamond runes popping up, which I think are worth your time. So rinse and repeat until you get one of these, unless you've got another one in mind. Now in the number 4, and it's an important resource that you'll often go lacking in this game, and that's leather and iron ore. Particularly coming in the next DLC, you could be rest assured that this is most likely going to be the most used and in-demand consumable. So upgrading the armor to max level can also scale your damage and overall stats by an incredible amount. The problem is though that your armor is so thirsty for this stuff, so it takes a high amount of leather and iron to actually get you to that maximum threshold. So I've actually done the maths, I've done the calculation, boys, and it would actually take 4,000 iron ore and 8,500 leather to get a full set of gold armor fully upgraded, which is an absolutely enormous amount. Ubisoft is definitely wanting us to grind for ages, lads, and I can definitely see that happening in the DLC. Well, one of the best ways to actually get this stuff is through high level zone chests, which I know sounds super boring and a complete chore, and it is, but I also did a speed run recently and worked it out for you on how much you can actually get in an hour if you're efficient with your grind. So in 15 minutes I looted 10 chests in Hamptonshire and managed to pull in 776 iron, 820 leather and 300 supplies, which isn't too bad. In an hour, just running around the map and collecting these chests, it's going to net you about 3,000 iron and 3,500 leather and about 1.2k supplies. So I'd say going forward, if you really want to upgrade your armor in the new DLC to the max level, I think you'd be pretty safe around having 5,500 of iron ore and around about 10k leather, which is a hefty amount, but it's going to get you the most out of your new armor set. By the way, my dudes, if you've enjoyed the video so far, got a few laughs, got some value, click the like button down below and consider subscribing. It's the best way to let me know that I'm making content you enjoy, which is why I'm on YouTube after all, and I'll keep making more if you do. Now, another thirsty big resource is carbon, nickel, and in particular tungsten, which is going to be in high demand for the DLC, as I do reckon Ubisoft are going to at least give us 3 new armor sets to keep things ticking over until Wrath of the Druids in March. At the moment, it will cost you 8 carbon, 8 nickel, and 8 tungsten to upgrade 1 full armor set and 1 weapon to max level. I can see Ubisoft releasing this armor at the bottom tier, so making us grind it out to get this fully upgraded so we spend more time in the DLC and the game. I did a video on how to get tungsten titanium quickly. As of this video date, so right now, I've actually run this method again multiple times and I'm pleased to say it is working like a dream. So you'll be able to get 32 tungsten and over 200 titanium in about 1 hour's worth of work. Amber Gaming also does a great video on nickel carbon ingots. So I've put the link in the video in the description, as I think it will be worth your time. It's a really good video and she does a really good job. By the way, use this method only if you've actually opened all of the tungsten chests in the map itself, because inside those chests, you're actually going to pick pick up a lot of iron ore and leather in them as well. So do those first. After you've done them and you want some more tungsten, move on to this method, and this is the method which allowed me to upgrade all of my armor, as you can see here. It's evident to me that Ubisoft are putting a lot of emphasis on Opals as being the kind of game's main intermediary economy system between in-game earnings and actually real-life cash due to the last few updates surrounding it. With that being said, at the moment, you can purchase a piece of armor, just one piece, from Reddit, and it'll set you back 120 Opals, which is a pretty hefty amount. So if it's going to cost you 120 Opals for one piece of armor, and you can only get 90 Opals a week, it's going to take you around about 8 days to actually get that one piece of armor if you're just starting from scratch. So this would mean that if you were to actually get a full opal armor set that would always be available week on week, it would cost you 620 opals, which is going to also it's also going to take you 7 weeks in total, and we're not excluding the drop rate here. The current weekly store rotation is horrendous, and it definitely needs to change because nobody's going to pay 50 opals for a tattoo or a settlement cosmetic. It's super lazy but purposeful from the developers, as it dilutes the Helix gear rotation drop percentage, and they 100% know that. Therefore, the point for opals here, I think, that is if you actually already have a decent amount of opals stored up, I do think it will be worth logging on every day, especially for the next couple of weeks, to collect those 90 opals. It may give you that extra bit of opal currency that Ubisoft are now pressing forward to actually pick up something new in the DLC launch. But if you're sitting on around about 0 or 20 opals and don't actually plan on really purchasing anything with them, what I would do is I'd actually prioritize tungsten and other materials over opals, because you're going to get the biggest return on your investment for your time, in my opinion. So when it comes to my number one, I've got a few things here for you which I think will help, and I'm going to kick that off with skill points. We know that we've got more skills and abilities arriving in this next DLC, so if you haven't already hit that max level and plan on playing this game this year, then prioritize that via the storyline quests. After you hit that 400 though, you can complete cairn stones, I'm just kidding, and side mysteries where you'll actually pick up a generous 2+ skill points every time you actually complete one. So this is what I did after I did the story arcs, and I've ended up with nearly 120 mastery points. So this means that I'll be able to reset my skill tree and sync those mastery points straight into the new skill trees that become available by unlocking all of the skills straight away. One thing that I don't see many people talking about though, and that's actual settings. There's two things here which I think may be useful and help you out going into the DLC. In settings, there's an option called menu hold fact. This simply is just a timer on your action button. So when you fast travel, for example, you can see it will count down and rotate, give you time to cancel it. And the same thing applies to when you're actually selling stuff at the vendor. I've changed that right down to the bottom to 100 milliseconds, so you can actually use this a lot faster, which I find really useful when you're fast traveling, you're vendoring, and every interaction in the game. So it saves you some good amount of time. Additionally, if you're not too fussed about the assassination minigame, you could turn this off from the settings as well. So for you original gangsters in the old series, you may actually just prefer to run with this, because I know some people like it. So it's your call. You just got to know that the option is there, and it can save you a lot of time as well. Also, another little option which may be worth your attention is the Jomsviking roster. I can see Ubisoft incentivizing players to have community players in their Jomsviking raiding boats for bonuses rather than just the standard storyline NPCs, so everyone can kind of level up and get a bit of a pushback from the silver from the raids. In that regard, make sure you've actually hired 6 community Jomsvikings so you're ready to go, and you're ready to straight away put them in your ship so you can get an extra bonus. That's just me guessing here, but I could see that happening to incentivize more engagement with the community through rewards. By the way, lads, I'm also running my first channel giveaway at 500 subs, which is going to be 1,050 Helix credits. If you're interested in being in a good chance to win, as we're a small but growing community right now, click the link down below, and I may be buying you a new dressing gown for Eivor in the next couple of weeks. You also may be interested in joining a small but enthusiastic community surrounding Assassin's Creed and other games that we're currently building on Discord. Big shout out to you guys on the screen right now who've been getting involved and really are the champions of this community at the moment. Honestly, I really appreciate all your support in every video. You guys genuinely are the best. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, hit a like and subscribe if you fancy seeing more content like this. It's the best way to let me know that I'm doing a good job. Apart from that, I'll catch you in the next video. Coffee's on me.